All right, good morning. Welcome to Market Pulse. And of course, this is a conversation that has happened. We are on the sidelines of Stanbic and Mastercard partnership. Now, we'll be telling you some of the elements of this partnership during this conversation, just looking at the value proposition for customers and what this entails in the coming days. But to help me with this conversation, I will be joined by the two gentlemen who are behind this program. All right, thanks so much, Mr. Shiril Ali, for making time to speak to us. Of course, you are the Mastercard Senior Vice President and Country Manager for East Africa and Indian Ocean Islands. And of course, this partnership is quite a significant milestone. You're partnering with one of the major players within the Kenyan market in as far as affluent banking goes. And I just want to understand, first of all, from a business perspective, what are some of the benefits that Mastercard then is going to get out of this arrangement? I know Abraham has spoken about it being a win-win arrangement for both Mastercard and Stanbic Bank. But from a business perspective, how does Mastercard take advantage of this and benefit from this?
Sure. So I think it's about Mastercard benefits only when our customers and their customers benefit. If you think about the fact that most of the customers who are going to get the World Elite Metal card, they're going to be entrepreneurs. Probably a big majority would be SME and business owners. So you have to think through what is a day in the life of a business owner. There's meetings, there's engagements, there's events, there is obviously the management of expenses in their factories and their homes and in the businesses. So how does one put out the solutions which are relevant and solves for those needs that the businesses have? That's the challenge that we have taken on with Stanbic Bank in this regard. And like I mentioned, the 24/7 concierge service, I have particularly called out the fact that there is business meetings, events that concierge can actually help you put together. So that brings that power, convenience, and like Abraham mentioned, live joyfully. You actually begin to know that you're not alone as a business owner. You have a partner who's actually given you the services that they need beyond the regular lending and investments and other things that come anyways packaged within a financial services package. So that is one. The second thing is, most of the SMEs and business people, they like to do trade. So how do we make it easier for them to trade seamlessly if there's, for example, the China corridor or the India corridor or the GCC that they're trading with? How do we make it easy on the back of the cards? So for example, in our case, we are working very closely with companies like GapStack, which is a fintech, Kenyan owned East African fintech, where we are sitting together and we're plotting how a trader from Kenya can easily import goods and of course clear them at the ports in a instant real-time fashion, and the digital documentation has to be transferred digitally. So there are these aspects that we're thinking through, and it's a journey. You have to think through the end-to-end and play your part in digitally transforming the business owner and SME owner's life.
So our partnership with Mastercard is actually a win-win partnership. So they do consider when providing some of these fees, the value we generate both for our customers, the value we generate for ourselves, and the value they generate. So we actually do see some of the obligations we need to pay for Mastercard to enable to provide these services back to our customers as value for money. And we always interact to ensure that when we provide these services, the cost to the customer is as minimal as possible to ensure that they can actually experience the right level of client experience at a lower cost to serve. Let's
talk about the business side of it. And of course, the question that comes to mind is interchange fee. And I just want to know, what is the arrangement between Stanbic and Mastercard in this partnership?
Look, the thing is, the East Africa is not like any other part of the world. The market is ripe with mobile money, as you're aware. So Mastercard took a strategic decision in August last year that from an interchange perspective, we have to make for a merchant, the price of accepting a digital card payment should be the same as when they do a mobile money. Just so that there is ease, ubiquity, interoperability, so that when a merchant is given the option of using a POS machine, and or accept mobile money, they know that they're not paying anything extra.
Yeah.
So we dropped our interchange from 1.12% to 0.6% in August last year. That's a huge drop. If you think about it, that's 50% shaved. Why? Because we believed that the merchants of East Africa deserve better. And by doing so, our acceptance is growing. You may have seen recently, obviously we partner very closely with Safaricom. There was an announcement recently that the 636,000 merchants of Safaricom would now like to accept Mastercard. That changes, that's a game changer, right? So if you are a Stanbic Bank Kenya card holder today, you will have more outlets, more merchants, more small shops to go and now use your Stanbic Bank card and have the confidence that yes, this card is accepted everywhere in East Africa.
So Abraham, when you do the cost benefit analysis for customers, is it a worthy investment? Is it something that I should have? Is it something that I must have?
Yes, and I think it boils down to how a financial service organization, as Stanbic Bank Kenya, has thought about the ambitions of its customers and taken through a thought process around making it holistic. Holistic that says that we know that we should enable you bank easily. So we need to create capabilities to enable you not actually go to a bank, but do banking. We should enable you to invest skillfully. We should enable you to plan wisely. And then lastly, we should also enable you to enjoy your life. Because we actually do think that part of what makes us a holistic financial services organization is that we are taking a 360 view for our customers.
So you see, transaction processing fees is not something that we are focused on. We are focused on creating domestic relevance. If we know that mobile money is the invention of East Africa and Kenya, right? We have to learn from that, right? And we are very humble as Mastercard in saying that yes, we know that a US-based solution or a UK-based solution cannot be lifted and shifted and plugged into East Africa and expect to work. So by customizing that, by recalibrating the cost, I'll give you a shocking fact. Today, if you pay by tap on phone, the interchange is half of that 0.5% that I just mentioned. So on the normal POS machine, it's 0.5%. On tap on phone, it's 0.25%. On QR, it is 0. Yeah. So the idea is today to gain scale, become domestically relevant where merchants ask for Mastercard to be accepted. When tourists come into Kenya, they should have the confidence that I can go to any shop in Kenya and pay by my card that was issued in whichever part of the world. We have more than 3 billion cards globally. That's a huge number, 3 billion, right? And then we're curating experiences like, for example, I can pay with this ring. Yeah, this is a Fitbit ring. I just tap, I make a payment and I'm done. Below 4,500, no one-time password even is required. You just this experience, when I go around Nairobi and I use it at merchants, there's a smile that is left on the merchant's face. I feel really good because I don't have to wait for those clunky experiences, user experiences. You know, I don't have to put in the OTP or anything. I do my payment, I go. So I think this is just one of those. On the e-commerce space, we are doing the click to pay. It's going live as a first in Kenya, and that will enable that when you try to go to checkout and you are trying to pay for something online, you have to put in all your card number, expiry, CVV, all of that, right? Click to pay is a one button. It's a registry, directory service which just fetches your card details, automatically populates it. So now instead of pressing 6 buttons and type endlessly, you just need to press one button and your card is populated and your transaction is done. So we are actually thinking through what are the today's pain points and how are we solving for that, and then bringing those assets in. And some of these are global first in East Africa, global first. So you have to be mindful of how seriously Mastercard is taking East Africa.
And I'm sure one of the questions that a lot of customers will be asking themselves is, are there hidden charges? Of course, there are all these perks that I would be enjoying if I have this metallic card, but at what cost?
The value on this metallic card is immense, and I would mention a few that actually talk to our customers. Our customers would want peace of mind when they travel. So not only does this card give you access to a proper travel experience, it also allows you to put in one friend onto that experience for free. Our customers want to enjoy their lives, and if you are a sporting person and you are a golfer, it allows you access to various golf courses. The card also has discounts for education, which is quite critical for our type of customers who are also trying to improve their own knowledge, but also improve the knowledge of their loved ones, be it children. And at the end of the day, given the market trends and the kind of disposable incomes we see, you would do with some discounts whenever you shop. This card provides discounts in areas where you commonly visit. So if you kind of look at what the acquisition of the card would give you versus the immense benefits that you are getting as value, it is indeed value for money.
So see, the thing is, different banks have different models. In the case of Stanbic Bank, I don't know if you've looked at the fees and pricing, but they're quite minimal. From the value comparison, if you calibrate the amount of value that is being packaged, I talked about the concierge service for free. We talked about the hotel discounts. We talked about lounge accesses, all the other assets within the airports where you can just go in, like I said, in Dubai airport, you just go from a Costa Coffee, pick up 4 things, walk away. Like that is real value. Then if you talk about 30% discount at golf courses, 800 of them globally, and of that 6 of them are in Kenya itself. You just imagine the amount of value this is bringing to you as a customer, and compare that to the tariffs that you are paying to manage not just that value, but also the private banking relationship manager. You have private banking suites that Stanbic Bank offers you, and you have amazing asset management offerings that they also get. It is nothing. I would say the value is at least 6 times more than what price you pay.
All right. The other thing that comes out through this partnership is the fact that it's going to enhance the affluent banking space, and particularly for those clients, their banking experience is going to be enhanced. And I just want to know, there would be an argument that this is a segment that Stanbic has done pretty well, maybe doesn't require this kind of attention. So what do you have to say to that?
Okay, we have definitely a lot of validation in the segment around private banking. It is an area where we've established strength and trust for our customers, and we do feel that with that comes a lot of responsibility for us to trailblaze and continue to innovate around the thinking around what the affluent customer wants going forward. So as much as we have done this over time, I think it's also a good opportunity for us to revalidate our knowledge and our capabilities around private banking. So continuous improvement in that space is always welcome.
All right, so for a lot of affluent banking clients, one of the things that they do a lot is foreign transactions, and I just want to understand what have you done to make this easier for them, to reduce the cost? If is that something that has been factored in?
Yes, we've actually personalized the experience around foreign transactions, and how we've personalized it is that we use the data and personalize your own experience and your needs and anticipate that. To that extent, we actually do offer both digitally and within our card competitive rates to ensure that you get the right value for the kind of foreign transactions we make. On our digital platforms, we have an e-market trader that enables to give you a specific rate for you, because we then understand your needs and we've anticipated your needs and the volumes that you do as a customer. And within our Mastercard proposition, we also ensure that that card is able to have the right rate, so that whenever you are transacting across the globe, you are actually getting good value for money when you come back.
You see, the thing is, we saw the Kenyan shilling go all the way up to 160, right?
Yeah.
Now it has dropped down to about 127, 128. And what we believe is that the demand and supply of currency drives the rate and the amount or the value of the currency. So what we have started doing is working closely with Kenya Tourism Board. We've said, okay, how can we diversify the avenues of receiving foreign currency? Now, how do you receive foreign currency? You can receive it by trade, so making trade easier. You can receive it by attracting more tourists into the country. How do you do that? Mastercard does every year once or twice a year with Kenya Airways, we give 20% discount on the same Mastercard that we've launched today, attracting people to come in. Then we say, okay, with hotels like Intercontinental Hotel, Serena, we already have live discounts throughout the year. You just come in and you get a discount on your Mastercard, attracting people into Kenya, right? So when we do that, and most importantly, for merchants to accept the Mastercards globally at a reasonable price point, right? That's why we dropped our interchange. Yeah. So by dropping the interchange, now the merchants in Masai Mara or with small, household businesses, or whether it's a big business or a retailer, now they have options. They can actually go for the full bells and whistles singing and dancing machine, or they could go for a QR, or they could go for tap on phone. So the options is what we are bringing to the market, and the market has thus far responded superbly well. We are so humble, and at the same time optimism at our end is at its peak, because we believe this is the beginning of something very special.
All right, so just in closing, where do you see the future of payment? Because I mean, we have transitioned from cash payment to card payment to mobile payment. So just looking at the next in the medium term, where do you see payments ending up? Which model of payment do you see now dominating the entire globe?
Right, so I think that's a very thoughtful question and a deep one. Look at the demographic you're sitting on in East Africa. We see the average median age is 19. I believe, and I'm being very bold in saying this, that the future of payments of the world will be defined by markets with age demographics as we see in East Africa. So the youth are going to actually show the world what's next. I was sitting with some European counterparts, and when I showed them that in Kenya I can pay with this ring, they were shocked. Because in Europe, the maximum, the point of evolution that has been achieved is that on a phone I can go and tap a phone and make a payment, right? Now we're talking about lifestyle, wearables, right? I can wear a Maasai band in Kenya and I can go and make a payment, and the experience takes 1/3 of the otherwise conventional experience. So I think it is from a person to merchant payment that there's a different evolution that's happening. Now you've asked a broader question in terms of generally where do you see payments going. So now let's look at trade. If I can clear my goods from Mombasa port very quickly, instantly, by using Mastercard rails, like we've got our cross-border Masterlink rails, we call the Masterlink rails connects banks, and there's no middleman, there's no middle correspondent bank. You just do the transaction direct between the receiver and the sender. And it does not matter whether you have a card or an account or a wallet. It is agnostic to the store of value.
All right.
Yeah. So therefore, you can trigger the payment, make it happen instantly. The receiving bank is happy, you're happy. There's no middle person, so all the revenue on that transaction either goes to the issuing bank or the receiving bank. Yeah.
All right.
But in the process, the trader is benefiting because now they know they have visibility on their transaction, and they know that they'll get their goods in earlier time rather than the good waiting at the port and incurring further charges.
All right, and of course we'll be looking forward to different kind of innovations that will be coming up in over the years. But for now, thank you so much for taking time to speak to us. And of course, that's how we wrap up this episode of Market Pulse. Make sure to catch us same time, same place next week.